Let's begin with a news break coming in as superstar Rajinikanth seems to be attempting to amend ties with the DMK leadership. Veterans who were miffed with Rajinikanth over jibes that were fired months ago. Now it seems Rajinikanth is attempting to make amends. He's clarified on a remark that he'd made where essentially he had mocked a veteran leader like Murugan when he's referred to them as old students, saying that they have no place now in the party. They will be having to move aside for young leadership. Now Rajinikanth, however, says old students have experience. They need to step in. And so Rajinikanth concedes that what he said earlier was a mistake. He says, I've told myself not to make such mistakes. After Rajinikanth's comment, Murugan, the DMK veteran leader who was miffed after what Rajinikanth had said last time, has spoken out saying he accepts what Rajinikanth has said this time. Essentially meaning that now between Rajinikanth and the DMK leadership, all is well.
அது ரொம்ப கஷ்டம். அதெல்லாம் அது ஸ்கூல் விட்டு கிளாஸ் விட்டு போக மாட்டாங்க அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு அதுக்கப்புறம் நான் சொன்னது இது பண்ணியிருந்தேன். நான் அப்படி இருந்தால் கூட ஓல்டுன்னு சொன்ன அந்த எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸு ஓல்டு பீப்புள் அவங்கெல்லாம் தூண்கள், அவங்கெல்லாம் ஃபவுண்டேஷன். அந்த மாதிரி எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ் ஓல்டு திஸ்டிங் இல்லைன்னு சொன்னால் எந்த இயக்கமும் எந்த பார்ட்டியும் அவ்வளோ திஸ்டிங் தேராது. அது தூண்கள் மட்டும் இல்லை, சிகரம் கூட. அந்த மாதிரி சொல்லணும் சொல்லி இது பண்ணிட்டு அந்த எல்லா சிரிப்பு இதில் அதை மறந்துட்டேன். என்னடா இது. ஸோ இப்போ வரும்போது மிஸ்டர் ரஜினிகாந்த் எல்லாம் பாரு, இந்த மாதிரி ஏதோ மிஸ்டேக் பண்ணிடாத. அது என்னன்னு சொன்னாரு பார்த்தேன். அவருக்கு நான் ஃபோன் பண்ணி பேசுறேன். ரொம்ப தேங்க்ஸ் சார். இப்போ மறக்காம பேசியிருக்கீங்களே.
Pramod Madhav is joining us live from Chennai with more details on this. Pramod, on one hand, you had Rajinikanth conceding that what he said earlier wasn't correct and now making, amends to what he said earlier. Murugan laughingly saying, I'm glad you remembered this time. The messaging seems to be Rajinikanth trying to get the veterans in the DMK again on his side, being happy with him.
Well, Akshita, one thing we can quite possibly say that only, imagine Rajinikanth going and giving this kind of a statement only shows what kind of pillar or peak Murugan, a senior party leader, holding a very important position in DMK and also a senior minister from the government of Tamil Nadu is. Because last year, where Rajinikanth pointed out on Murugan and said that it's Murugan easily evades anybody, even Kalaignar, and he also claimed that it is very hard to actually judge what kind of emotion Murugan is holding, and he claimed that old students are really difficult to handle, and he kind of equated that with senior ministers and Stalin. That turned out to be a huge issue. We never thought Murugan would come forward and claim that this is the same thing that is happening in cinema as well, as old actors are not leaving the retiring. That is turning out the youngsters are not getting any chance. So that turned out to be a huge issue. But right now, almost a year after that, Rajinikanth has said what he wanted to say without forgetting, and Murugan has accepted it, Akshita.
Interesting developments this. When it happened, I remember everyone saying that this is just two leaders essentially mocking and poking fun at each other, two very good friends doing it. But clearly it had turned rather ugly and sour, which is why now you're seeing all of these reactions and Rajinikanth attempting to make amends. Thanks very much, Pramod, for those details. Let's cut across to more breaking news coming in. You heard from Pawan Kalyan, the Andhra Pradesh Deputy Chief Minister, yesterday when he called for Hindi to be a unifier language. Now Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu has also waded into the language row, where he also has essentially questioned all those Hindi baiters, saying, I've heard many people ask, why should we learn Hindi? And then he refers to the example of former Prime Minister P.V. Narasimha Rao, who was known to have a great fondness for languages, who knew 17 languages. That's what Chief Minister Naidu refers to, essentially making a pitch for people to learn all languages, including Hindi. Listen in to the Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister.
P.V. Narasimha Rao garu, I had a very good equation because we are all one state, from Telugu state at that time. I had a very good equation with him. He was a student leader, a freedom fighter, a scholar fluent in 17 languages. Now we are all talking. Why should you learn Hindi? Not only he learned Hindi, he has learned 17 languages. That is how he has become a great man.
And like I said, this comment from the Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister comes right after his deputy Pawan Kalyan had strongly defended Hindi and had referred to it as the Peddamma of languages, mother tongue and Peddamma, which means elder aunt. So he suggested that Hindi is the unifier.
మనం మాట్లాడే తెలుగు, తమిళ్, కన్నడ, మలయాళం, వారిస, వడియా ఏ భాషలైనా కావచ్చు, మన మాతృభాష. కానీ రాష్ట్ర భాష మటుకు హిందీ. మనం ఇంట్లో మాట్లాడుకోవడానికి మాతృభాష ఉంది, కానీ మన ఇంటి సరిహద్దులు దాటితే మనకి రాజభాష హిందీ ఉంది. ప్రపంచం మొత్తం విడిపోవడానికి కారణాలు వెతుక్కుంటూ ఉంది, కానీ మన దేశం మొత్తం ఈ రోజున కలవడానికి, ఏకం కావడానికి ఈ రోజున మన రాష్ట్ర భాషని వెతుక్కుంటుంది, అది హిందీ అయ్యింది. నేను అలాంటి రాష్ట్ర భాష హిందీని నేను స్వాగతిస్తున్నాను.
So clearly the language debate only raging on. It's almost become an interstate war in the south now over Hindi. Let's move on to our top focus here on Super 6. And that's what's playing out in Karnataka between the Siddaramaiah government and the central government. A controversy is broken out over a bridge unveiling. This happened in Shivamogga district of Karnataka yesterday. The Sigandur bridge in Karnataka, a huge marvel, a development marvel essentially in Karnataka. But unfortunately mired in politics because Chief Minister Siddaramaiah claims that he was ignored by the centre. He wasn't invited. He's even shot off a letter to Prime Minister Modi complaining, saying he was insulted and ignored. But the BJP says that this is essentially a mountain being made out of a molehill, that there's no controversy whatsoever. Here are the details first in our report with the reactions.
A bridge in Karnataka, Shivamogga, has become a bone of contention between state government and the centre. Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah has written to Prime Minister Narendra Modi that inauguration of 9 national highway projects with an investment of over 2,000 crore rupees, including the bridge, were done in his absence. Siddaramaiah in his letter pointed out that despite his prior request to Union Minister Nandagopal, the event was not postponed and asked Prime Minister to advise the ministers to refrain from discordant acts. Chief Minister has called the move a serious breach of protocol, calling the centre's conduct arbitrary and against the spirit of cooperative federalism. The Chief Minister has formally launched the state's protest, urging the Prime Minister to direct central ministries to avoid such actions in future.
ಟಿಕೆಟ್ ಅದು ಕರಿಬೇಕಲ್ವ ಅವರು? ಟಿಕೆಟ್ ಪ್ರಾರಂಭ ಮಾಡಿರೋರು ಯಾರು? ಟಿಕೆಟ್ ಮಾಡೋ ಪ್ರಾರಂಭ ಮಾಡಿರೋರು ಅವರೇನೆ. ಶಿಷ್ಟಾಚಾರ ಪಾಲನೆ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಲ್ವಾ? ನಮ್ಮ ರಾಜ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ನಡೀತಾ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ಒಕ್ಕೂಟದ ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆನಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಒಕ್ಕೂಟದ ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆನಲ್ಲಿರುವಾಗ ಈಗ ಅನೇಕ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಗಳು ಅವ್ರು ನಾವೇ 75% ಕೊಟ್ಟರು ಕೂಡ ನಾವೇ 75% ಕೊಟ್ಟರು ಅವ್ರು ಕರೆದೇ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವು.
Meanwhile, BJP has returned fire with party MP Basavaraj Bommai, alleging that no state ministers informed him when they came to his constituency. He also accused the state government of not inviting MPs to key events in the state hosted by the state government.
CM, if at all, is writing to Prime Minister on protocol, I think he is looking everything through political lens. Under his captainship, all this kind of breach of protocol is going on, and he is making this issue, even though Gadkari has written 2 letters to him requesting to come and make time. He should have gracefully, if it had gone. However, the development, he cries in one hand that there is no development. And when such a big project is there, not for foundation, for inauguration, he doesn't come. That means he doesn't want to be the part of the development done by the government of India.
Meanwhile, this current row has pushed the Congress's internal tussle to the background and given the Chief Minister and the Deputy Chief Minister a breather and a brief moment to appear united. Bureau Report, India Today.
So you've got two versions essentially that's playing out, where the central government is saying we did invite the Chief Minister, and Chief Minister Siddaramaiah saying there was no invite. There was a clear messaging being sent across to the state government, and that's why we decided to boycott the entire event. Let me bring in on this broadcast Lavanya Balal, spokesperson of the Congress, Ashok Gowda, spokesperson of the Karnataka BJP. Both are with me on this broadcast. Namaskara to both of you. Lavanya Balal, I'd like to begin with you first. Two letters that I'm going to read out for you first. One letter from 11th July. This is from Nitin Gadkari, in which he's written to Siddaramaiah saying, I request you to kindly grace the occasion and preside over the program. This is on July 11th. Then July 12th, a second letter is saying, in case attending in person is not possible, we would be honored if you could join us through video conferencing. Those two letters are on our screens as well. So looking at this right now, Lavanya, why is Chief Minister Siddaramaiah saying that, protocol was breached, he wasn't invited, he wasn't informed about this?
Good evening, Akshita. It is not a mere formality when a leader is invited. A leader of Siddaramaiah stature, who is a CM of a state who represents the 7 crore Kannadigas. Let me break it down for you. When Mr. Nitin Gadkari plans a program like this program would have been planned by his office at least a month in advance or at least 3 weeks in advance. When they plan a program of this level, it is customary to coordinate with the Chief Minister's office of that state so that their programs can be coordinated and they are on the same page and they are on the same stage on the same day, same time. On that day, when they invited on the 11th for a program on the 14th, this happened after the invite was circulating on public space. The invite to the Chief Minister's office came after that. And he was not consulted if he has any programs on the 14th. On the 14th, our Chief Minister was launching one of the biggest irrigation projects in India, in Karnataka. That is why the Chief Minister could not be there. When the Chief Minister travels, it is not just for inaugurating. There are also multiple other meetings that happen after the inauguration. He had to be there. So that is why he couldn't be present for the virtual inauguration. The question is, who in Gadkariji's office thought it is perfectly fine to bypass the protocols which are in place for the last 75 years? Somebody decided that it can be skipped and 7 crore Kannadigas who are represented by Siddaramaiah can be insulted. But here is what I would like to say. We will continue to cooperate with the central government. We will partner with them, for the service of 7 crore people of Karnataka.
Okay, I want to bring in Ashok Gowda right now of the BJP. Mr. Gowda, what do you have to say to the Congress's allegation that protocol was breached, that this was a last-minute tick-in-the-box invite that was issued by Nitin Gadkari's office to Chief Minister Siddaramaiah, and they say it reeks of disrespect?
See, absolutely, Lavanya is not stating the right facts here. On 9th itself, our MP from the Shivamogga district had written a letter to the Chief Minister of Karnataka stating that please be present. And this event is going to happen. That is point number 1. Point number 2, there are so many events wherein 3 to 4 days planning is required, and within 3 to 4 days maximum of this kind of an event can be planned. Point number 2. Point number 3, when an RCB kind of an event can be planned within few hours, why can't this kind of an event be planned within the span of a week? Okay, all these are apart.
Fair.
And in past, what we have seen is, whether it is Davos, wherein the Chief Minister of Karnataka should be present, representing the 7 crore people, it does not go. Whether 7 crore of people represented by the Chief Minister of Karnataka for in FC meetings, he does not attend. For 7 crore of people represented by Chief Minister of Karnataka in GST Council, Chief Minister of Karnataka does not go. So when these protocols will be breached by Chief Minister of Karnataka, he is not representing the people of Karnataka. With all these things, now, why did he not attend? Why did he ask his own ministers like PWD Minister Satish Jarkioli, who was already present on 13th July in Sagra, as well as Sagra's MLA, Belur Gopal Krishna, also wanted to attend. He told all of them not to attend. So why did he do so? Because Nitin Gadkari's speech had very clearly stated that he is going to speak about the what kind of an investment is been given to the Karnataka, and wherein 3 lakh crore is been invested in Karnataka for infrastructural development alone, as well as another 2 lakh crore amount is going to come just to escape from the embarrassment and just to state their own claim, saying that we are not receiving any funds from central government to Karnataka. They wanted to avoid their physical presence there as well as a virtual presence there. And that is why they have not gone. And this is the politics what Siddaramaiah plays every time. Blaming the
I'll bring in Lavanya for a rebuttal. Mr. Gowda, I'll come back to you. Lavanya, 3 invites, essentially, based on what Mr. Ashok Gowda has told us. 3 invites were issued, 9th, 11th and 12th. You keep referring to protocol. What is the protocol that you believe should have been followed? And also, please respond to Mr. Gowda's question when he says, that the RCB event can be held in less than 24 hours.
Is he equating Mr. Nitin Gadkari to an RCB event? I'm appalled that he would equate Mr. Nitin Gadkari, a national leader, union minister, planning his programs to a RCB program. It is appalling. Nitin Gadkari ji, I'm sure, would not plan his programs at the drop of a hat like he
But Lavanya, the Chief Minister attended the RCB event, didn't attend Mr. Gadkari's event.
Let me make it very clear. I'm talking about Mr. Gadkari. Are you saying that Mr. Gadkari planned it at the last minute on the 9th? Even on the 9th, when these people claim that there was an invite sent to the Chief Minister, I'm sorry, there is a protocol in how you consult. Tomorrow, if we have to invite our Prime Minister to Karnataka state, there is a certain standard operating procedure how the leader has to be invited. What we are saying is the BJP disrespects this SOP, standard operating procedure, because it disrespects the federal system of this nation. They disrespect it, and hence they interfere in a lot of issues which are state issues. Now, when he talks about, state is getting budgets, I challenge Mr. Gowda to tell him the amount of GST revenues that Karnataka gets in return for the amount that we pay every year. We do not get our share of GST revenues from the union government, and none of the BJP MPs elected from Karnataka speak up about it. They do not demand fairness when it comes to this. Yes, they have given us funds for roads. We are not denying it, but it is the duty of the union government to build national highways. Come, look at the Shirsi highway. Look at the number of moon craters that is there in the highway. They talk about amazing roads that are being built, the space technology that Mr. Modi claimed is being used to build the roads. We have come crumbling national highways in Karnataka state.
Lavanya, to my question again about protocol, what is the protocol as per you to be followed in inviting a chief minister that you say has been violated?
The chief minister's office has to be consulted by any other union minister. For example, if we are inviting a union minister, they have to consult. The officers have to consult and make sure that their diary entries for that particular day matches. If Mr. Gadkari ji is coming to the state, I'm sure 2 or 3 weeks in advance, somebody from his office could have coordinated with the chief minister's office and made sure chief minister does not have any other engagements that particular day. When the chief minister had an engagement which is already decided so many days in advance that the irrigation project in India is going to be inaugurated, how can he skip his own program?
Okay, let me bring in Mr. Ashok Gowda for a rebuttal. Mr. Gowda, go ahead.
See, when an irrigation project in India can be planned within 2 to 3 days, which I supposedly learned from the bureaucrats that it was planned on 9th and 10th of July. So such kind of a big projects wherein 5,000 crores of Karnataka's money was invested in Bijapura can be planned in 4 days. Why can't not there be an inauguration project which is going to happen be planned in 4 to 5 days? That is the question which I am asking Lavanya. Lavanya is bugging the question. That is point number 1. Point number 2. Chief Minister was going in a private jet from Bangalore airport to Solapura airport, and he was driving down to India. And in the same private jet, if at all he wanted to be part of it, he could have been part of it, because his 4 hours was there from 1:30 till 5:30. He was never having a program as per his schedule yesterday. So if he wanted, if he had a mindset of becoming a part of such an event, he could have definitely attended, or he could have requested a 2 hours time and he could have definitely attended. This is all apart. And whenever Congress government is there in power in Karnataka, we have seen in the past, MLAs, local MLAs from the opposition parties will not be invited. and there will be a politics which will be played. And local MPs, as Basuraj Bommai Saab is saying, the ex-chief minister of Karnataka is saying that MPs are not invited, and including
give me specific examples. Mr. Gowda, no sweeping statements, no generic statements, please. If you have an allegation, make it specific with evidence. Give me details.
Exactly, I'm coming to that. Basuraj Bommai Saab in his own constituency was not invited, being a local MLA. When such kind of things are there, no, I'll tell you Ramnagara MLA earlier when Kumaraswamy was the ex-chief minister of Karnataka. Kumaraswamy was an MLA from Ramnagara. He was not invited. From Chanpatna, he was not invited for a program. There was a big issue in that, and so that issue was also played out in the open media. So all these are part and parcel of the Congress's mindset and the Congress's game. Just blame the opposition and try to score their own points. And now here they wanted to say all these things. I will come to Lavanya's GST part. GST part, when Karnataka receives the 50% of SGST, so they don't speak up. IGAST, when they don't speak up. When the central GST is coming to Karnataka as 42%, from the devolution and the grant in aid, they don't speak up. As well as what they forget, what Karnataka Chief Minister or any of the Congress people forget is the kind of the DBTs which come to Karnataka, the kind of the subsidies which come to Karnataka, kind of the soft loans which come to Karnataka, kind of the project investment which comes to Karnataka, they don't speak up. Adding up to all these things, it comes up to around 54 paisa to 57 paisa, as I myself have calculated and as my friends from the economics have calculated. And let us be very accurate. Let us not lie to the people that 1 rupee goes and 13 paisa comes. No, it's not right. It is close to 54 to 57 paisa, depending on annual to annual. So this
I'll
is
focus,
all apart.
Mr. Gowda.
Okay,
you've raised a number of issues. Lavanya Balal, to particularly what Mr. Gowda said, where he's listed out the Chief Minister's schedule and said, look, there was enough time for the Chief Minister to attend the event if he wanted to.
It is an assumption by Mr. Gowda that the Chief Minister had no other work other than inaugurating the irrigation project. We would like to point out that the Chief Minister's, as he claims, Mr. Gowda claims that there are bureaucrats claiming the program was decided on the 9th. They need to furnish the proof of it before making wild allegations like that. If there is a bureaucrat saying it, he must furnish proof of it, that this particular communication went out of Chief Minister's office. Trust me, every communication goes out on paper. It does not go out verbally, vocally, anywhere. So when they are talking about, oh, it is perfectly fine for us to flout the existing federal structure between the union government and state government, we do not accept that. We respect the federal structure, and we would like to reiterate once again, we are committed to partnering with the union government in the service of 7 crore Kannadigas. We will continue to do that.
Okay, I'm running out of time. Yeah, I'm running out of time.
This confusion doesn't arise.
Okay, let's hope there's no confusion. I agree that, when we're looking at development for the people of Karnataka, there should be no space whatsoever for this kind of politics and back and forth. We ideally, and I'm sure every Kannadiga will agree with me, we'd ideally like the state and centre to work together for the benefit of the people of Karnataka. So let's hope that this chapter ends with this particular incident and we don't see this snowballing further. Thanks very much, Lavanya Balal and Ashok Gowda, for joining us here on India Today. All right, let's move on. Get your news now from Tamil Nadu, where there are, interestingly, no more backbenchers. What do I mean by that? Well, the Tamil Nadu government has actually announced that the normal seating that you usually see in a classroom that we've all grown up seeing has changed. Those images on your screen. So what classrooms look like now? There's going to be no traditional backbencher seating in classrooms. It will be replaced by a new arrangement where students will sit in a U shape. The shape essentially is also of the Tamil alphabet Pa. So that is the shape in which students will be seated. The idea is to ensure that teachers maintain better eye contact. They monitor students more effectively, reduce hierarchical barriers, and encourage greater interaction. This is actually a step that's been taken by the Tamil Nadu government. It could be expanded depending on its success. And it's not just in Tamil Nadu. This was actually something that started off in Kerala, based on, in fact, a Malayalam children's film, which is Stanarthi Shrikuttan. It inspired schools to adopt circular seating, which is what also has come to light in Thrissur of Kerala. You see, there's no row-wise seating, no backbenchers, none of that. The idea is to promote equal learning without back or front benchers, and it's been implemented in about 7 schools in Kerala. Now remember, in Kerala, it's an initiative that's been taken by these schools. In Tamil Nadu, it's actually a government order.
Guess what? There's going to be no more backbencher or front benchers in Tamil Nadu schools. We're reporting from one of such schools in Chennai's Egmore. It's called the Presidency Girls School, where you can see that the seating arrangement is U-shaped, or rather PA-shaped in Tamil script. The idea behind this kind of seating arrangement is to eradicate the whole concept of who's a front bencher, who's a back bencher, and we believe this also makes it easier for the teachers to maintain eye contact with each and every student. Having a seating arrangement of this manner promotes interaction, enhances surveillance and monitoring between teachers and students, and that helps foster learning and interaction, and helps build a sense of connection between the student and the teacher. This particular seating arrangement model will be implemented across the state of Tamil Nadu. Of course, this will depend on the student strength and the size of classroom, which will vary from classroom to classroom. But for now, this is in pilot mode, which seems to be far more effective than the row-type seating arrangement. With camera person Daniel, I'm Keshav reporting for India Today from Chennai.
അത് എല്ലാവർക്കും മാഷിനെ ഒരേപോലെ കാണാൻ സാധിക്കും. അതുപോലെ തന്നെ മാഷ് പറയുന്നത് കേൾക്കാനും സാധിക്കുന്നുണ്ട്. പിന്നെ ഇതിനു മുമ്പ് ബെഞ്ച് ഇട്ടപ്പോൾ ബാക്കിലുള്ളവർക്ക് മുമ്പ് ബോർഡിൽ എഴുതിയൊന്നും കാണാൻ സാധിക്കില്ല. ഇപ്പൊ എനിക്ക് നല്ല കംഫർട്ട് തോന്നുന്നുണ്ട്. മാഷിന്റെ ഐഡിയ എനിക്ക് ഇഷ്ടപ്പെട്ടു.
Interesting concept, but remains to be seen whether it actually makes any difference as far as education in Tamil Nadu or Kerala in these schools go. Let's talk about another story from Tamil Nadu. This was a shocking one that came in from a film set where a stuntman died. Mid-stunt car flips and he died. Stuntman Mohan Raja is no more, and now a case of negligence has been filed against the film director, very popular Kollywood director Pa Ranjit and others. So the police are investigating whether proper risk assessment, safety protocols were followed, as well as whether any corners were cut during the stunt, which is why the director who was at the set when this happened has also been booked. Among those named in the case, along with the director, are in fact the producer, the identified vehicle owner. And this tragedy, importantly, has raised questions, concerns over safety on film sets. This stunt, and we'll show you that video of exactly what happened. It was during a shooting in Nagapattinam. That's the sequence there for you. The stuntman, Mohan Raj, is seen driving an SUV over a ramp to create a flying car effect. The car loses control, flips mid-air, and then crashes. Though the team rushed him to the hospital, he could not be saved. That's that scary footage right there of him going full speed, going onto that particular ramp. Car flips. Unfortunately, he died in this incident.
We request our government, at least some remedy should be given to the family. This is the 5th time in this year happening. We lost 5th member in the stunt sequence only. More than 30 years, in the last 30 years, nearly 40 to 50 members lost their life. The member family did not have any remedy from the government. The government has announced this is an industry, but we don't get any remedies or anything which are all the other industries getting. So we request the government give any remedy.
Let's bring in Pramod Madhav for more details on this. Pramod, why has the director and others involved in the film right now been booked? Has there been any allegation or any charge of negligence that's been found in this case that's led to the death of the stuntman?
Akshita, one thing is very clear. We all now love movies, and Pa Ranjit is a very, very important director who has directed 2 movies along with Rajinikanth as well, and also Sarpeta Parampare. But here what happens is that these vehicles are not meant for these kind of stunts, and we know that very clear. It's an SUV, and what happened is that they made it go through a ramp, and there was a gas-charged kind of pipe over there, which gave the kind of momentum through which it flipped in the air. Now, unfortunately, we do have like various other ways of creating these kind of stunts, be it like CG or AI and such, but certain directors go for the ethnicity. But this is where, until it goes wrong, everybody applauds it. But once it goes wrong, people have to take responsibility. And this is where the police have gone ahead and filed a case against 4, including Par Ranjit, under 3 sections, and have initiated an investigation, Akshita.
All right, Pramod, thanks very much for joining us with those details. We'll track very closely the investigation and what the police find in the course of their probe. Thanks for the moment. And in Kerala, we've been covering here on India Today all the possible options for Kerala nurse Nimisha Priya, who's facing execution in Yemen. She was scheduled to be hanged to death tomorrow. Fortunately, in some respite that's come in for her, the execution has now been pushed. Originally scheduled for July 16th, it's been postponed to a later date. The date hasn't been informed just yet by Yemen. Sources indicate that there are, in fact, several reasons this has happened. One is the government of India providing all possible assistance. And secondly, also because you've had local clerics who are based in Kerala, known to be close to Yemeni authorities, who've intervened in this particular case. Both of that has led to some respite for Nimisha Priya. But mind you, at this point, the execution hasn't been stayed. It's only been postponed, as the other options, which is of the victim's family accepting blood money, none of that has happened. I'll bring in Shibi Mol for more details on the Shibi. There's an active campaign right now to provide any possible help to Nimisha Priya and ensure that she escapes execution. How was this made possible with just less than 24 hours to go, Shibi, that the execution has been postponed?
Well, Akshita, what we're understanding is it was the Grand Mufti of India, a prominent Sunni religious leader from Kerala, AP Abubakar Musliar, who made the final attempt. He had a conversation with Yemen scholars there, and inform them what is actually the situation. He says that there's a law in Islam which says that if the victim is murdered, the family has the option to accept blood money and forgive the accused here. So that's a law in Islam. So he's saying that he made them understand this, following which the Yemen scholars had spoken to the officials there. And since today morning, there has been a discussion going on, a closed-door meeting going on with the victim's family. This was a major restriction restriction as far as Nimisha Priya's case was concerned. The family was not ready to come for discussion. The Action Council, Nimisha Priya Action Council, had tried many times to bring the family for discussion. They had offered a blood money of around around 8.5 crore Indian rupee, but the family was not ready to come for discussion. Today, the family members had come for a discussion, and that's when the decision has been put on hold. The Yemen authorities have confirmed that it has been put on hold. It has been postponed is what we know, but what we are understanding from the source from the Grand Mufti of India is that it looks positive. There could be a possibility that a higher amount might be asked by the family. There are people who are ready to donate, and Congress MLA Chandi Uman from Kerala will be coordinating it. He says that he has informed the Prime Minister's office as well as the central government about the process that is ongoing and where it stands right now. But the main positive part is it's put on hold, and the family has finally come on board for discussions, which was the basic restriction as far as Nimisha Priya's execution was concerned.
Okay, fingers crossed that, we see some reprieve coming in for Nimisha Priya, but there definitely seems to be some movement, which is welcome news. And we hope that the execution is stayed ultimately. Thanks very much, Shibi, for joining us with those details. Big efforts underway to save this Kerala nurse, to save Nimisha Priya. Let's get you breaking news coming in on the upcoming monsoon session of Parliament. Here's what we're picking up on India Today on what will be on the government's agenda. According to sources, the government may introduce 8 new bills during the monsoon session of Parliament. So these are bills to do with sports governance. You're also expecting the income tax bill to come up to be passed in the Parliament. So a number of bills that have already been identified. Remember, just about an hour ago, you had the Congress also in a huddle to figure out what exactly their strategy will be for the upcoming monsoon session of Parliament. But it's an important one because, mind you, this is the first session of Parliament also that we're seeing since Operation Sigandur. So in all likelihood, there'll be a briefing by the government on exactly what happened. But a number of bills that we are hearing will be taken up. Piyush is joining us with more details on this. Piyush, get us details of what you're picking up from your sources on what's really the government's top priorities in the upcoming session of Parliament.
Well, Akshita, there are many bills which the government is also looking forward to get passed, and the priority will be to get these bills passed. And on that, the government is also in talks with many opposition leaders. So remember that just before the commencement of a monsoon session, there is the all-party meeting which has also been called on 19th of this month, and after that, on 21st, we can expect the parliament session to take place. But before that, around 8 bills, what we are told is that the government is focusing, this time to get passed, which includes National Sports Governance Bill, National Anti-Doping Amendment Bill. Provision will also be made to bring a good governance in sports organization and create a mechanism to resolve disputes, Mines and Mineral Amendment Bill, and apart from that, there are multiple bills on which the government is going to put a lot of focus. And like you rightly mentioned, that the Operation Sindoor will be one of the biggest focus of this time in this monsoon session. Why? Because remember that after the Operation Sindoor was successfully carried out, opposition political parties were demanding that government must come on the floor of the House and answer and reply to some queries of opposition political parties and call a special session. But that did not happen. And now we are seeing monsoon session is all set to begin. We can expect opposition to seek a lot of answers, not only on the issue of Operation Sindoor, but also on other topics also.
Okay, there is no doubt that will be dominating proceedings in the upcoming monsoon session. Kicks off next week on Monday. So a lot of fireworks expected. Besides all of these bills that we're talking about, the top priority of the opposition will be to seek answers from the government on what exactly happened during the course of Operation Sindoor. Thanks, Piyush, for joining us with those details. All right, let's move on and get to the big image that came in, that will be etched in our minds for a long time to come, of Captain Shook's, Group Captain Shook's finally returning home, back on planet Earth after the undocking that took place yesterday. Today, you had splashdown in the Pacific Ocean, a textbook splashdown that took place off the coast of Florida, marking a perfect end to a near-flawless journey. The deorbit burn took place at about 2 in the afternoon. 1 hour later, at exactly 3 p.m. is when the splashdown took place in the Pacific Ocean. About 30 minutes later, we got the first glimpse of Group Captain Shukla as he emerged out of the Dragon capsule in which he had taken that long journey and briefly waved at the cameras, all smiles, to let the country know, to let his fellow Indians know that he's doing all right.
Bharat has today truly found an enduring space in the world of space. It's a moment of pride for the whole world and a moment of glory for India as one of her illustrious sons returns back after accomplishing a successful voyage and after having conducted some of the very vital life-bearing experiments never done before. And therefore, as I said, today indeed Bharat has found an enduring space in the world of space.
So after completing the space voyage, Shubhanshu Shukla now will undergo a 7-day rehabilitation program, giving Shooks and the entire crew time to regain muscle strength they may have lost after staying in zero gravity for an extended period.
Even after 18 days in space, even after a 25.5-hour journey back to Earth, for Group Captain Shubhanshu Shukla, the mission doesn't end with splashdown. Like all astronauts, Shubhanshu and his 3 other crew members will spend 7 days in rehabilitation. Astronauts need rehabilitation post-splashdown because space flight causes major changes in their body, mainly due to lack of gravity. They need to undergo therapy for atrophy to help regain muscle strength and bone density. They also undergo cardiovascular deconditioning therapy to recover from their cardiovascular functions. They receive treatment for vestibular system changes to readjust their balance and coordination. They go through psychological adjustment as well to readjust to Earth's sensory-rich environment and social routines, which can be overwhelming to return to. Rehabilitation often includes physical and psychological support, as well as counseling to help astronauts adapt mentally, emotionally, and physically.
brace for drogue window.
Other astronauts like Sunita Williams also went through a 45-day NASA rehabilitation program to recover from their 9-month space expedition.
Other than Sunny Williams.
The duration of rehabilitation varies depending on the length of the expedition. But as he's done with everything else on his space sojourn so far, we are certain Shooks will pass this test as well with flying colours. Bureau Report, India Today.
So let's focus really on those images that came in. This was right after splashdown. In case you missed that moment, this was exactly when Group Captain Shooks emerged. We just got a glimpse of him for a few seconds, but you can see that he's all smiles, he's looking up. He needed a bit of help, as is the case, because astronauts there, like Group Captain Shukla, have been in space, not used to walking, so they're getting their first sense of gravity again. So just kind of finding their feet, almost like a baby learning how to walk all over again. So with a little bit of help, he was on his feet, taking a couple of steps, and now directly headed for medical checkups. That's being done as we speak right now. But great to see Group Captain Shooks doing okay, smiling, waving at the cameras with a clear intention to send a message across to home that I'm doing fine, I'm safe, and clearly he enjoyed the journey back. It's an arduous one where you see the re-entry alone, temperatures peaking, essentially heat, extreme friction, and you have the capsule essentially dropping down at a speed of about 560 kilometers per hour. So you can't even fathom what that essentially feels like. For Group Captain Shukla's family, of course, they heaved a huge sigh of relief. They were excited, they were anxious, they were going through a whole lot of emotions, understandably. Listen in to what they had to say right after their son touched down safe back in India.
प्लेन नीचे आ रहा था, आप लोग प्रेयर्स कर रहे थे?
नहीं, ईश्वर से प्रेयर करते हैं। ईश्वर से जो है उसी को सवेरे प्रेयर करके हनुमान जी को सौंप आए थे, मतलब वापस लाओ, जैसे गए थे वैसे लाओ। ठीक ठाक रहा, सब बढ़िया रहा, बहुत अच्छा रहा और लैंडिंग अच्छी तरह हो गई। ये बहुत खुशी की बात है हम लोगों के लिए और देशवासियों के लिए, सबकी जो है खुशी की बात है।
पैराशूट जैसे ही खुला है, आपके और आपकी जो पत्नी है उनके आंखों में आंसू आ गए थे जैसे ही पैराशूट खुला है, वो कितना इमोशनल मोमेंट था?
एक बहुत अच्छा मोमेंट था और वो जो है मतलब ये है कि खुशी की थी हम लोगों को कि मतलब जो है सब नॉर्मल चल रहा है, जो चीज़ जैसी होनी चाहिए वैसी हो रही है, तो ये बड़ी अच्छी बात थी। मतलब जो है उसका मिशन का जो है भी एक जो भी चीज़ें थी टाइमली समय से और सब कुछ क्लियर हो रही थी, तो अच्छा लग रहा था।
डर था जब नीचे आ रहा था प्लेन?
नहीं, डर तो थोड़ा बहुत 10-5% तो रहता है दिल में, कहीं न कहीं रहता है कि मतलब, और ईश्वर के पास से सब बढ़िया हो गया, अब डर कोई नहीं है।
ईश्वर को याद कर रहे थे आज मंगल भी?
बिल्कुल याद कर। ईश्वर हर समय हमारे साथ है, हमारे मतलब ये है ईश्वर की कृपा से ही सब कुछ संभव है।
बस बेटे से मिलना है जल्दी?
बस बेटे से मिलना है।
कब तक उम्मीद है?
अब ये 15 दिन कभी।
क्या कहेंगे बेटे से? एक आखिरी सवाल।
अब बेटे को गले लगाएंगे, उसको आशीर्वाद देंगे।
शिवांशु की मां मौजूद है। आज आपके चेहरे पर मुस्कान देख रहा हूँ, कुछ क्षण पहले आंसू थे, अभी मुस्कान है, कैसा लग रहा है बताइए?
अच्छा लग रहा है, खराब क्या लगने वाली चीज है, तो मिशन पूरा होके बेटा लौटा करके तो अच्छा लग रहा है। बहुत
देखा आप हाथ जोड़े थी और कुछ जाप कर रही थी जिस वक्त वो प्रोसीजर चल रहा था।
भगवान से मन ही मन प्रार्थना कर रहे थे कि सुरक्षित लैंडिंग हो जाए, सुरक्षित लैंडिंग हो।
आपकी आंखों में आंसू भी थे, एक माँ है क्योंकि आपने पूरा बच्चे को बड़ा किया है, आपके सामने खेले हैं, आपके सामने पढ़ाई की है, अभी भी मैं देख रहा हूँ आप स्क्रीन की तरफ देख रही हैं। आप मुझे ये बताइए कि किस तरीके से ये कितना इमोशनल क्षण है?
नहीं, ये आप लोग भी देखो कितनी स्पेशल चीज है।
हाँ, बहुत स्पेशल चीज है हम लोग के लिए भी, हम लोग के भी रोंगटे खड़े हुए जिस वक्त हम रिपोर्ट कर रहे थे। आप ही बताइए कि कितनी बड़ी प्रेरणा शिवांशु बन गए हैं?
प्रेरणा तो बन ही गए सबके, पूरे संसार के लिए, दुनिया के लिए, भारत के लिए, सबके लिए।
डर था हल्का सा भी?
नहीं, अब कोई डर नहीं है।
जिस वक्त लैंडिंग हो रही है
खत्म, सब सारे डर खत्म हो गए, सब खत्म।
Group Captain Shukla's mother there urging the media to also watch that moment her son emerged out. Clearly, they've been having a lot of conversations with the media. We've been trying, of course, to get you all of the excitement of the family also through the course of this journey that Group Captain Shukla has been on for the last 2 weeks. That's all we have time for in this edition of Super 6. I'm leaving you with the images of King Charles meeting with the Indian cricket team at St. James Palace in London. King Charles met the coaches, BCCI officials, and there was a detailed interaction with both the men and the women's cricket team.
That's it.